Yeah, I was actually talking Patriot. I just forgot I had hadn't unmuted yet. It's been one of those days, man. Streaming, I kicked it again. It's not wanting to show my camera. It's not wanting to do a lot of stuff, and it threw me off there for a minute. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the camera room is muted. No, the microphone was muted. Let's see, does this camera work? Yeah, that one works. Hi, everybody. But for some reason, the OBS camera is not wanting to work. And I believe I have it turned on. Yes, I do. Kinda silly? Only kinda? I don't know if I should take that as an insult or not there, Patriot. And those of you who saw what Patriot and I were talking about in the YouTube chat, Doge is finding different ways that they may be returning money back to the taxpayers. So they're talking about potentially for every individual taxpayer who didn't file jointly, sending them $5,000 in a.
2,500 for single, married 5.
Oh, my Amy just corrected me on that. She's the one that told me the story about this.
But they haven't said yes or no.
Now she said they've lowered the individual to 2,500 and the joint taxpayers to 5,000 to make up for government overspending and other nonsense.
And they don't know if they're going to do it or not yet.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I said it's rumored or potentially going to happen, or however I put it.
Musk is the one who put it out there.
Yes, and you said Trump did too.
After Musk put it out there.
Yes. Okay. I don't know if you could hear her input or not, or just mine, but you know. Anyway, if you hear something in the background, it's either my wife or Futurama, which she is currently watching.
Shadow, where are you?
Right there. What do you want, dog? You want to say hi to everybody? Come here, you little brat. Come here. Look, I can let you say hi. Okay. You want to say hi to everybody? You can't see them, but they can see you if I turn the right camera on. Hold on. Hold on, pup. See, there she is. There's the puppy, the little black Chihuahua Jack Russell mix, who is a holy terror at times. Now, don't bite my finger. Good Lord, you're almost a year old and you're still wanting to bite fingers. Oh, you gonna hide now? What are you doing? Shadow, what are you doing? What? Hey, watch it.
What Tim's done?
Did my YouTube chat freeze?
I think it all froze.
What the hell?
Oh, is it working now?
I don't know. Oh, this is lovely. I don't know if you guys can still hear me out there in TV land or not, or YouTube land, but and the technical difficulties here at the house. So yeah, it's always nice. Okay, Patriot says that they can hear both of us. So yeah, because my YouTube chat completely froze. The TV was acting goofy, so we were thinking we might have lost internet. But if you guys,
Back on.
huh?
It's on now.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh.
I wasn't talking to you about it. Gee. Oh man. So what else? What is there to talk about? Hmm, I don't know. I'm debating whether I like the way they got the banner set up now. I don't know how it looks for you guys, but there's like a boundary line at the bottom now, and it looks funny. And I can't put a background behind it. So yeah, there's that. I wonder what it would look like if I put it at the bottom. Yes, we're gonna play with the banner right here live on TV on YouTube. And it isn't like Gary hasn't done it before when he's screwed up his banner. Let's see, what's it look like at the bottom? Not too bad, I guess. Cuts off the bottom of the channel logo, whereas the top did that. And for some reason, it's not showing names at all with the OBS camera anymore. I don't know why. It's doing it if I show this one. Yeah, it's not showing name there either unless it's under the banner. But yeah. Uh-huh. Very funny, Patriot. For those of you who may be watching on X or Rumble, Patriot in the Dark says the banner is reading upside down over on the YouTube side. And he also says it looks great. For those of you who may not know this, Patriot in the Dark is completely blind. So I really have no idea what to talk about this week. I really have not been paying attention to the news or anything. Run into this doctor and that doctor in the past couple weeks. having the eye procedure done. What was it? A little over a week ago now.
Tammy, you don't play at the TV.
Which kept me from being able to do the show last week because far vision in one eye, real close vision in the other eye, looking at a computer monitor, it just created all kinds of eye strain and started giving me a headache at times and stuff. So wasn't able to do the show last week because I could not look at a monitor long enough to do it. Hey, Woods. Yeah, it makes me wonder how Patriot and Guns and Barbecue have done it when neither one of them have any. Neither one of them could see even as well as I could with after the surgery. So, props to those guys for going out there and doing this stuff.
No.
No, I didn't need a pirate patch. It wasn't that deep in, but they did have me wear this eye shield at night. Woods wants to know what's the dumbest gun you own or ever owned. So, let's see. Hmm. I, I don't know if everything I've owned has been fairly decent. My wife, on the other hand, she had a Ruger LCP, which nobody liked, and nobody was very fond of her Smith & Wesson 642 either. So, yeah, I really haven't bought any really dumb guns. Yeah, Chris from 740's out there. Yeah, I guess I'd better introduce, say who's out there in the YouTube chats anyway. The obvious patron of Darko has commented numerous times so far. Run to a Matters. Woods. Chris from the 740. That's who we got out there in the YouTube chat so far. And remember, on at least the Rumble side, if you don't say anything, I don't know you're there. X won't show up on Rumble, so in the Rumble chat. Doesn't show up in the StreamYard chat either, for that matter. Yeah. Now, Woods, in answer to his question, said he owned several RG revolvers and an Altor. You win, just for the Altor. Imagine a snob with an Altor. Not only would he have to worry about the gun jumping out of his hands, he have to worry about the optic flying off and hitting him in the forehead too. If you put an optic on an Altor. Of course, let's look at it this way, right? Burris Fastfire 2 is fairly cheap. And it would still cost more than the Altor. So that could be Wood says the Altor is the dumbest gun ever. Had to buy one. Well, then you need to get that double-barreled 22 revolver as well. If you could find one of those, I mean, talking about dumb guns. Can't even grip it properly because of the way they did the trigger on it. Well, the high point ain't too bad. I'd rather have a high point than an Altor. Let's put it that way. Oh, on to a matter says worst gun for him was the Cobra 380. He shot one of them and had the firing pin stuck in his forehead. Oh, damn. That's pretty bad. You got to remember Cobra, Raven, Jimenez, Jennings. They're all Ring of Fire guns, and none of them were ever really particularly good. Okay, Patriot asks, what accessory have you ordered and it totally didn't end up what you thought it would? Probably the foregrip I have on my Vepr 12. It's a Fab Defense, but it wasn't. I don't know if I got a lemon or whatever at first because I had to go and cut the spew pieces off like you would if it was when you're building a model. You got to cut off the little excess plastic off of your model parts. But I had to do that before I could put it on the shotgun. So I was a little disappointed with it. Its initial presentation that it came in the way that it showed up, condition it was in. You know, Fab Defense stuff isn't particularly cheap. That was the issue I had. You buy $100 foregrip, you don't expect it to have to be trimmed. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus Christ. You expect all that to be done before they package it. Quality control wasn't very good. That's like if you have a poodle taking it to the dog salon and having to do the work yourself. That's if you're into making poodles look like fairy dogs. And the way people do their poodles, it makes you wondering what the hell they were smoking. My sister-in-law has one. It's either a full blood or it's a mix. I can't remember. But she gets it fur trimmed where it's reasonable. You know, he doesn't have a big giant puffball on top of his head. Wood says he bought a holster for his new Heritage Roscoe leather holster, handmade. Doesn't fit. Well, Woods, in the case of my sister-in-law, she wanted something small that she could take places with her easily, to stores and stuff, because it's her emotional support animal and service animal, because she's been in a car accident and some other stuff to where it messed her up a little bit. Fuss just popped in. How you tonight? You there? Yeah, we'll give him
Yeah, there we go.
oh,
I'm awake.
you sure? It says, asked Kingpin and he ordered something blue and it ended up being like tropical blue or a cross of teal and robin egg. You don't, you don't know what it was. Yeah,
Well,
it's blue, but maybe not the shade you were expecting. Yeah,
how does he know?
because Kingpin told him. Wood said, "Don't trust those Washington peeps. They are shady." I'm assuming he was talking in reference to what we were talking about earlier, before they started asking gun questions. Hey, Ron Wayne. Yeah, we're back on the air after a couple of weeks off. One, Great American Outdoor Show. Two, forgot it was Super Bowl weekend, and I usually take that off anyway. So, and then the next week, because of the eye operation procedure, whatever you want to call it, on Thursday of that week, my vision was
So
all screwed up, and I was getting like headaches from eye strain and stuff. So I wasn't able to do the show then either.
does your new bionic eye make that sound when you focus on stuff now?
Dude, I wish they would that I had something like that. What I had done was a chemical and laser procedure called cross-linking, where they take your cornea and try and shape it back into a more natural shape.
That doesn't sound fun.
It wasn't that bad, actually. I had the surgeon and I were like talking the whole procedure about different things like music and stuff, so that helped. But I had one of those little clockwork orange things where it holds your eye open. Good news is they didn't try and make me watch any kind of propaganda or something when they had me there like that. That would have been a
Was he
perfect time.
playing? Was he playing Beethoven?
No, they had it on the oldies channel actually.
No.
No, there's Jacob S. out there in the YouTube chat. Showing 10 people on YouTube now.
Give me the chapstick.
Ron Wayne says you could
Give me
just
here.
have it removed and get a parrot on the eye, on the shoulder. Yeah, parrot for an eye, that would be kind of funny. A little itty bitty parrot sticking out of your eye socket. That would be, actually, that would be weird.
There is a dude that he has a false eye and he has a light in it. So he can turn it on and off. I think it's push button. He has to push it from the outside, but he said it doesn't heat up or anything. I think he invented it himself after
Yeah.
he's lost his eye.
Yeah, if he's using an LED, yeah, those don't produce much light. I mean, not light, but heat.
It depends.
Yeah.
As you get up in like the 1 watt, those will start to heat up.
Ron says would be an amazing pirate. Yeah. And contrary to popular belief, pirates did not wear patches because they were missing an eye. You know what the reason?
That depends on who you talk to. I just listened to a historian who said that might be true, but it's also might be true that just it's a rough life, so a lot of
Yeah.
pirates just might have lost eyes.
Yeah, but every one of these pirate movies, you see a pirate with a patch and they don't have an eye. It's like, it's possible, but there was other reason why the pirates would wear a patch over their eye.
Just the whole night vision thing. That's
Right.
There's no proof. There's absolutely no proof of it.
Yeah, that's what they say. I've heard numerous historians say that that's why they did it. So I guess those are your two options. Either they did lose their eye, which it would be possible, and then the night vision thing. I've never personally tried it, so I couldn't tell you if that would work or not. But those are the two things that they say were potentially. But not every pirate with a patch would have lost an eye. Not every pirate that was doing it was because of night vision. Not having lived in that time period, I couldn't tell you for sure. Moose says the guy with the lighted eye operates it with an RFID or magnetic ring.
Uh,
Now, Patriot, being Patriot, says he heard it was because their pants didn't have pockets and they stashed their money behind the patch. Yeah, maybe
That's
if you
closer
were,
to why there's an earring.
yeah,
Which also is it's amazing how little time it takes to lose a fact to time.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like some people will say the earrings are so if they die, there's enough money to pay for a burial.
Mm-hmm. Or it might just be because they wanted to make themselves look as what's the word, intimidating as possible. Contrary to, oh, good.
Well, it is kind of Navy, so it's kind of gay. So.
Uh-huh. But contrary to popular belief, pirates weren't always out there looking to kill people if they didn't have to. Because trying to kill people put themselves at risk of return fire and whatnot.
Well, then you lose ransom opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't always trying to sink the boat like you see in movies either, because then they lose whatever booty was on the boat.
Well, and then a lot. Sometimes they want that boat because they're basically building a fleet.
Mm-hmm. Ron Wayne out there saying it could be like General Chang and Star Trek at 6 and have a metal patch riveted on your eye. I actually had one that I could put over my eye as a costume piece, like that. They sold them as part of the General Chang costume set, or a Klingon costume set, or something like that. I forget what it was. And I bought one not because I was going to play a Klingon with only one eye on Halloween or whatnot. I bought it because I was going to be a futuristic pirate, so I had the metal eye patch instead of the black cloth eye patch.
When I was growing up, there was a dude in our neighborhood. Everybody called him One Eye Jack, and he had a patch that he'd wear most of the time. Every now and again, he wouldn't have it, so you'd see his empty eye socket. And he drove, what was a 70 whatever Firebird with the Firebird on the hood.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember it being black. I don't know. That was the 70s. That was a long time ago.
Wood says he just listened to a podcast that proposed that the early revolution in America was funded by former pirates that settled in the New World and the British were looking for. That's entirely possible that there were some involved. I know there were the U.S. Navy, both during the Revolution and during the War of 1812, took advantage of pirates and put them and enlisted them in the Navy to fight the British in both those wars. So,
Well, the colonies made a lot of money off rum smuggling.
mm-hmm. Well, they weren't privateers because they were actually officially they were officially enlisted into the Navy. Privateers, you get a mark from the government that allows you to act as a pirate against the enemy. There were pirates in both wars that actually were enlisted as part of the Navy, not just privateers.
Yeah, they were called the French.
Mm-hmm. Well, there were most of the pirates in the New World that signed up with the colonists or the U.S. during those two wars were either French or British who were wanted. Captain Morgan had an interesting history. Ron Wayne brings up Captain Morgan. Not there. Went from being a pirate to the governor of Jamaica.
I used to really like Captain Morgan spiced rum until I threw up a bottle of Captain Morgan spiced rum and could never touch it again.
There's a local distillery around here that makes a strawberry lemonade rum.
Ugh.
They make two different rums. They make the strawberry lemonade one, and then they make a cinnamon rum. I told Amy if she makes a rum cake like she wants to, we need to get a bottle of the cinnamon one and try that in it. That might be good.
That might be good.
It's supposed to be, the flavor on it's supposed to be like rum, but then it has a hint of like a fireball, atomic fireball from the cinnamon. I haven't tried it, but
Never tried Fireball. I kind of quit drinking before it came out.
No, not alcohol. The candy. Remember the little red like jawbreaker?
Oh, I didn't like them. But I'm not into hot stuff.
Waiting to see if anybody's got any more gun questions, or I could just have you answer them since you just got here. If I can find one. I think the first one was, what's the weirdest gun you ever bought? Or dumbest gun you ever bought? Something.
My Walther PK380. Piece of shit. But Chris from the 740 did a video on a Walther 22, which looks really similar to the PK380, and he gave some tips on how to fix problems with that gun, which are similar to the problems with the PK380. And I had done some of those in the past, which kind of helped. So I might go through and then try the rest of what he did on his 22 to my 380 and see if that will make it run.
Yeah, maybe. Now, Patriots got the next question. He wanted to know what accessory have you ordered and it didn't end up being what you thought it would.
I don't think there is one. I once ordered a Seattle Mariners pennant and didn't read the description. Turned out to be like 3 inches long. I had all the pennants from each year hung up on the wall, and I was missing one, and I saw one online, and I ordered it. Well, I didn't realize it was a mini one because I didn't read the description. Gun wise, no, there's no accessory I've ever ordered that wasn't what I thought it was.
All right. So those were the early questions. Jacob S. just sending another question. Have you ever used one of those Henry U.S. Survival 22 rifles? Yes, I have.
I kind of want one because they're funky, but I've never seen one up close.
They're not the most accurate gun in the world, but then I wouldn't expect them to be. Yeah, because of the way that they come apart and everything. But they're based on a rifle that was developed for use as a survival weapon during the Vietnam War that was issued to pilots in their little duffels and stuff that they would carry with them. And then they were supposed to start equipping them on the planes themselves, but I guess it didn't go over very well. And so pilots would still have to carry them on the plane themselves, or in whatever handgun they decided they wanted.
And Woods is right. I do have loads of. I think he's seen all my stuff. I've got at least 350 autographs of baseballs, 8x10s, cards, bobbleheads, some of the other miscellaneous merchandise. And they're doing a jersey retirement for Ichiro in August. My wife wants to go to that game, so I looked up tickets. The only tickets they had were 300 level, with fees for 300 level ticket, $106 per ticket.
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to go to that. Yeah, the room of Mariners stuff is called the Mariners room. But I also have some maybe a dozen lunch boxes, old lunch boxes like Buck Rogers and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jacob's asking, how accurate are we talking in reference to the Henry Survival Rifle? 10-inch group at 25 yards? No, it's a smaller group than that. But it's not going to be as accurate as, say, a 10-22 or a Marlin Model 60 or something like that. And depending on the individual rifle, the group could open up or be a little bit more or shrink a little bit more. They aren't made to the same strenuous testing processes that Henry uses for their lever guns. They're mostly a novelty kind of thing, but they're accurate enough where you can use them for small game hunting in a survival situation.
Ron Wayne's right. You'll never lose it in a boating accident.
No, it will float. Keep the questions coming, folks, if you want. We can answer them. I ain't got nothing else to talk about. Like I said, I haven't been paying attention to news or anything because of everything that's been going on.
Yeah, if this chat sucks, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault, folks. Come on now. This is an equal participation chat. Even if you're not on the panel, you can still voice your opinions and questions out there in the chats. So help keep this going. Yeah, I don't have any room in the house dedicated to any particular team. My wife keeps buying Penguins and Steelers stuff and putting it in various places.
I was way into it until my son was born, and then I didn't have time to dedicate it to it. I've got a binder that has up until probably a year after he was born. But I've got a baseball card for, I'd say maybe 75% of the players on the 40-man roster for each year. Some of them you can't because they'll be listed on, if you go back, I was using like the baseball, I forget what the webpage is, like Baseball Almanac, and then they would give a list for like the 40-man roster. And some of those players are ones that just came up for a cup of coffee, so they weren't there long enough to get a card.
Mm-hmm.
So there's players that you cannot get a card for them, but I had a majority of the players.
Jacob says he is asking about the Henry because he was looking at one that's up for auction and it just went past how much he was willing to pay for it. Have you looked on Henry's website? If they're still being made, they weren't that expensive. They were what, like $250, I think, for one of them?
Jacob seems to like getting a deal on stuff. He cruising the auctions a lot.
$250 is not a horrible price.
It might be more about the thrill of the hunt.
Mm-hmm. Ozzy's out there. Oh yeah, Defense Dad's out there too, saying nothing's ever his fault. Well, technically, the Gun Channel's rule was that everything was Night Strike's fault. I don't know with Gun Channels not being around if we're supposed to still hold to that or not.
It's tradition. Yeah, Bass Pro Shop has them for $2.99.
Okay, so they've gone up just a little bit. That's still not a bad price for something like that. $350 is still not too bad, Jacob. I mean, compared to a 1020, the price of a 1022, how much those things have gone up. Prices are getting ridiculous on some guns.
Yeah, Academy has it for $2.99.
There you go. Get it from Academy, or what was the other one you said? Bass Pro?
Yeah. Sportsman is the same. Sportsman's Warehouse.
Okay, I was going to ask which one. Sportsman's Guide or Sportsman's Warehouse?
When I bought my Maverick 88 Security, it was during the COVIDs, and I ordered it online from Sportsman's Warehouse. Went down, do the paperwork, and talking to the sales guy as I kind of doing the paperwork. And I told him, yeah, I think I got the last one, because I bought it and then went back and looked online and they were out of stock. And he goes, "Oh, you're the jerk that bought the last one." He was good. He was going to buy it, and then I snatched it from him.
Yeah. I got Woods with a question. He says he has a new grandnephew and he needs a 22. So should he get the Marlin 60 or the Ruger 1022? Which one's cheaper? uh, honestly, both of those would be good choices. And if you could find one that's reasonably priced, a Henry Lever Action 22 is really nice too.
I love my Marlin 60, but there's a lot more stuff for the 1022.
Yeah, there's a lot more accessories and stuff out there for the 1022.
But the Henry would just kind of be cool.
I got one, the Henry Classics, the blued version. And that thing is a tack driver, man. So accurate. Jacob says it's now passed over the price for a brand new one. Now, are you sure it's a newer one and not a vintage one? And that could be why the prices are going up like that? Because the vintage ones, you're going to pay a little more than you will for a new one.
With auctions, there's people that they get into the bidding and they'll go over what a logical price for something is, just because
I know
they get fixated on winning. I used to, when I would eBay a lot more in the past, I would, if it was getting up to the price, whatever my cutoff was, and I was in a battle with somebody,
mm-hmm.
I would drive up the price just to make them pay more.
Yeah. Now, Patriot wants to know, are there any 1022s with wood stocks that are not like a big fat hot dog bun? He says they're enormous, has to be wood. You may have to get one and then have a custom stock on it. I think they all have that same grip style on them with the wood stocks.
Fedstead said he's getting her kid his first car, but didn't say what it is.
Uh-huh.
Said he's going to surprise her with it. Apparently, he's surprising everybody.
Yeah. Apparently, he doesn't think his daughter watches our show, so he's not going to say what it is.
Well, he's not surprising her then.
Mm-hmm. He said it's plastic and black, and pretty sure the black plastic did not float. But yeah, they were noted for their ability to float. That was one of the features that was built into them.
Maybe it has aftermarket stock or something.
Or it's one of the ones that doesn't have the removable barrel, which would make it a vintage, and those ones didn't float. If it's the modern one that's going to have the detachable barrel and everything, and it's all going to store in the stock, those ones float. For sure. The vintage ones that had the removable barrel, they would float. The vintage ones that had the fixed barrel did not float. An 08 Honda Ridgeline, he said. Isn't that the Honda like unibody midsize pickup?
Well, it's their only pickup.
Well, yeah, but that is the one Ridgeline. That's the Ridgeline.
Yeah, it's right? the Honda, basically the Honda Avalanche.
Yeah.
And I like the styling better on those older ones than the newer ones.
Yeah, the thing that's nice about the new ones is they actually have a trunk in the bed that's usable. You can actually put a fair bit of stuff in there. Like if you're grocery shopping, instead of having it flying around in your bed and stuff, you just open up the trunk, you put your tailgate down, open the trunk, and you can put your groceries right there like you would in a car. Patriot says, any thoughts on the Rock Island 1897 trench gun, 12 gauge? I've never got the handle one. I couldn't help you there, Patriot.
My opinion is you should buy one.
Yeah, you can buy one, then you can try it out and tell us how it is. Gizzards out there, evening, Gary. Yeah, Defense Desk said family friend cut us a great deal on it, and it has the trunk too. One owner with all the maintenance records. He said they locked out on it.
Cool. How many miles on it?
Yeah, how many miles on it?
What color?
And when we were looking for the truck Amy would want, it came down to between the Maverick and the Ridgeline. She wanted something just a little bit smaller, so we got the Maverick. She liked the Ridgeline, but she liked the Maverick just a little bit better. White with gray leather, 185,000 miles for $5,000. That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For a Honda, that's not a lot of miles.
No.
I don't really like leather interiors, but that's just me. And do not Armor All leather.
No, definitely not.
I had a 78 LeBaron with leather, and I Armor All the leather seats.
Ooh.
Every time you hit the brakes, you slide off the seat.
Yeah, that takes away any traction the leather has.
And once you start Armor Alling, you cannot stop Armor Alling because your seats, the leather will crack if you don't keep up on it. The only thing I will use Armor All for now is it does a great job cleaning mold and dirt off of seatbelts.
Mm-hmm. If you need to clean the leather in your car interior, get a can of saddle soap. It should be where the shoe polish and stuff is at local stores. It's made by Kiwi. It's got the same style can as the shoe polish does. That stuff works great on cleaning leather. That's what we had to use on our combat boots in the military to clean them up. And it doesn't take away the traction properties of the seating. I mean, it's made for use on a saddle, for crying out loud. The one thing you don't want is a saddle where you slide around in it.
I used to polish when I was little. I used to polish my dad's patent leather shoes.
Ooh.
You're a kid. It was fun. And Defense Dad said they had changed the timing belt and brakes and new tires on that Ridgeline.
Wow. So yeah, you made out like a bandit on that one. I mean, depending on what tires they put on it, that's a large chunk of the cost right there.
I just had for my wife's car, the button stopped working on my key for her car.
Mhm.
So I figured the battery, was dead or something. But Honda, in its infinite wisdom, it snaps together like most key fobs and keys,
Mhm.
but there's also a tiny, tiny screw that's Loctited in place. And of course, I stripped that.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I ended up just drilling out the head of the screw so I could get it apart. The snapping, it's strong enough friction to hold that closed just by snapping it together. God knows why they put a screw there. I've never had a car key with a
yeah, I
screw.
never had one that did that. But Amy did a good one when we first got the Escape, the car we had before the Maverick. She forgot to take her keys out of her pocket and washed the key fob and dried it in the dry. So, and that damn thing worked until the day we traded it in. So Ford makes good key fobs, apparently. I was expecting the thing to not work.
Yeah.
I had to put it back together because it came apart. I had to put the little board with the buttons back in place. And find where the spare key was, that because the way that one worked, you didn't have like a switchblade key like some of the key fobs do. This one, you pushed a little tab and a teeny tiny little key would pop out. That was only good for opening the doors anyway, because of being a push button start. Man, finding that little key in the laundry was fun. It's like needle in a haystack time.
Gun Websites is out there.
Yep.
And I sent you an email, G-Webs.
Defense Dad said he ordered a giant red bow for the truck off of Amazon.
Oh. Jacob said he's the high bidder, currently the high bidder on a Canic TP9.
Yeah, he said he got a bid of 320 in his area. They usually go for 500 when new. You know what model of TP9 it is, Jacob? Or
When my kid was looking at getting his driver's license, I was kind of excited because that meant we were probably going to get him a car. So I got to research used cars and find something, and then whatever went wrong, he did not want to get his license anymore. So right now he just rides the bus where he wants to go.
yeah. Our son doesn't think he needs to get his driver's license. He's in his mid-20s and refuses to get his driver's license. It's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, my son's 19.
Yeah. He was going to get his license. I told Amy I think he's pissed off because he thought he was getting the Escape if we got something new. The concept of us trading it in on something new just never entered his mental picture, I guess.
I wanted to get him a Prius just because I want a Prius. Because you can there are places you can send the battery packs. They'll send you the shipping labels and you can mail them the battery packs to have them replaced. And it's only like, depending on the model, it can be like $3,000, $3,000.
Yeah.
Not as expensive as you'd think.
Have you seen, I think it was the 2025 sedan model? It looks just like any other sedan out there. It does not have that funky Prius shape to it. that looks like it should be a mini sub or something.
But part of me still wants a smart car too, because they used to make all those body kits for them. You could make it look like a mini Ferrari or mini monster truck.
But just think, you get a Prius, then you get the smart car, and you can carry the smart car in the back of the Prius if something goes wrong.
Well, the big thing was they had the engine conversion kits. You put the motorcycle motor in it, the Honda motor. So they, some of them would do like 180.
Man, I remember back in the early 90s listening to my father's scanner when I was staying with him the 1 week. And on I-279 in Pittsburgh, you had state police, sheriff's officers, and Pittsburgh City Police chasing a guy northbound doing 150 to 160. The car he was doing it in, a Metro convertible.
I don't know if they could. Physics does not allow them to do 150. Well, unless they're falling off a mountain or something. Wonder what it had in it, because there's no way a stock Metro is topping 90.
It couldn't have been stock. But the convertibles did have a little sportier engine in them. So. But still, I don't think they were doing 150 with the stock engine doing 150. Either way, whether it's got the sportier engine or the basic Metro engine.
My mom had one for a while, and we were driving across the state, and I was driving, got pulled over. I was doing like 60 and a 50. There's spots where you're in between towns that are kind of close together, these really small 1-horse towns. Mm-hmm. So you speed up and slow down, and I wasn't really slowing down as much as you're supposed to. Got pulled over, and my mom couldn't find her registration. I had my license. Couldn't find her registration, and had a niece in the back seat. She was laying down, and the cops I think it was State Patrol. So, it's like, does she have her seatbelt on? It's like, I don't know. Hope so. Yeah, and he ended up, I think because my mom was with me, they let me off with a warning and told her, hey, you need to make sure you have your registration ready. Thank you.
I don't know, Woods. You get a Geostorm, which was basically almost like somebody took a Camaro and shrunk it, and you put a supercharger kit on one of those back in the day, and those things were fast.
The regular ones were not fast. In high school, a friend of mine's parents had one, and we'd, take it out cruising at night and stuff. But
yeah, there was
some back roads.
There was, I forget what company it was. They used to sell a tuning kit and a supercharger for the Geostorm, and man, those things were fast when you put those on it. I didn't say they were smart, Woods. I just said they were fast.
They have a chance they just disassemble once you hit 150.
I don't know if they'd hit 150, but they might. I mean, I know I've seen them personally. I've seen them clocked at 120, 130. I think they made the one for the Miata too, which made it pretty damn quick.
I'm not a fan personally, not a fan of the Miatas, but there are people who will stuff like 350s in them and race them.
Yeah.
They'll track race them. Yeah, Defense Dad's bringing up the Hayabusa smart
Uh-huh.
cars. Yeah, the conversion kits were like 2,000, 2,500, but that, that's more than 10 years ago when I was looking at them.
Do they even make those things anymore? I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I know. I'm pretty sure they stopped making them a while ago.
Yeah, Defense Dad said they replaced an engine in a Geo Metro convertible in high school. Didn't even need an engine hoist. You just lifted the old engine out of the engine bay.
That's
I
that's
can
the way
believe
my
it.
bug was. I had a '67 Volkswagen Beetle, and you just 4 bolts hold the engine onto the transaxle. You could lift everything out. Back then, too, a friend and I and a friend removed a 4-cylinder Ford motor. We just with a 2x4 had a 2x4, ran a chain, bolted it to the motor, and we lifted it up. But
Yeah.
I was a lot younger and in much better shape.
Oh, Ford Fiestas, they only had a 3-cylinder in them back in the day. You could literally get 2 guys unbolt it and lift it right out of there with no problem. You didn't need a 2x4 or anything. You just grab it onto wherever you can grab onto and just picked it right up out of there. Those engines didn't weigh anything. It was just the awkwardness. You needed 2 guys to get it out of there because the way engines are shaped and shit.
This 4-cylinder weighed a ton. I sold it to somebody else that we both knew, and then delivered it to him, but he wanted it in his basement.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to take it down. It was only like 4 or 5 steps, but Jesus, that was heavy. It was out of my Ford. I always forget the name of the stinking car. It was a Stan, not Futura, Ford Fairmont. Which the Fairmonts were kind of cool. I didn't know at the time, but they used the Fox body frame for that sedan.
Yep.
Which it did handle really good. When I bought it, it had Pirelli tires on it. The previous owner had put Pirellis on it, and it handled really well. But that 4-cylinder was just gutless.
Yeah. That was the same one that was the same 4-cylinder was used in the base Mustang. Take that out, you could have put a 305 in there. Or 302 rather, 305 Chevy.
Well, that's what we wanted to do, but it's a unibody, so there was a difference in the motor. I forget what it was, so it wouldn't fit. You had to have, because I can't even remember if they ever came with 6 cylinders. But the Ford 6-cylinder from that time would not fit in that car.
Huh.
So because I had bought a 6-cylinder from a junkyard, and they had said no, it's not going to work. We didn't believe him until we tried to put it in, and then had to take it back. Said, yeah, you were right.
You couldn't just change the engine mounts or anything to make it work?
No. I don't remember exactly what the problem was, but it would not physically fit.
And Ford did the same thing with the Fusion and the Mustang. They were built on the same frame. Even if you had the front-wheel drive Fusion, it still had the drive shaft hump going down the middle of the car. the bane of children everywhere in the 70s and 80s and whatnot. That the drive shaft hump. If you had to sit in the back seat, man, you were sitting in the middle of the back seat. You didn't have any leg room. You're trying to straddle that thing, and whoever's sitting next to you is getting mad because you had their legs right against their legs and stuff, pushing their legs into the doors. Ah, the good old days. These kids whose parents are all driving around front wheel drive cars, they don't understand the struggle. Wasn't so bad in like a 60s car because the interiors weren't as small. So even if you had the hump going down the middle, you still had a fair amount of leg room in the back seat. But once you get into the 70s and cars started getting smaller, or some cars got bigger and the interior somehow still got smaller. Jacob said his first car or car he was gifted a car when he graduated college, a 2010 Ford Fusion. I think he sent pictures in on Gary's show of that before.
I've always liked the look of the Fusions.
Yeah.
I looked at one, a used one, years ago, and drove it. It must have been a rental, an old rental or something, because it was a piece of garbage. It rattled and shook.
Yeah, we never had that problem with ours when we had it. That was what we had before the Escape. Somehow my wife has turned into a Ford person. She's had a Focus, then a Fusion, then an Escape, now the Maverick. Some of those Fusions, you could get aftermarket Mustang like body parts, and they would bolt onto it, and it'd make it look more like a four-door Mustang. Even especially the latter Fusions, they look very similar to the Mustang, especially from the front end. You could see the heritage between the Fusion and the Mustang when you looked at the two of them. But they never offered the Mustang's V8 in the Fusion, though the engine bay was definitely large enough to fit it. Instead, you had a decent sized four-cylinder, and then if you had a titanium, you got a dual intercooled turbochargers put on that thing, and then that produced over 300 horsepower out of that turbo V8 or turbo four-cylinder, and those would be all-wheel drive.
I will never own a turbo. They're just ticking time bombs waiting to explode.
Jacob said it was a 10-year-old car when he got it, and it only had 63,000 miles, I think so he said. Yeah, 63,000. Yeah. Finstead said he saw an interesting video the other day. Dude restored a Cavalier Z24 but swapped in a supercharged 3800 from a Park Avenue in it. Yeah,
My mom had a Cavalier for a while, just a basic, not a Z4.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was just kind of an econo box.
Yeah. I wanted to get a Z24 when I was working at Giant Eagle, but Amy's like, oh, it's too small. It's like, what do we need a large boat for? Instead, we bought the an '84 Buick LeSabre Police Edition off of somebody.
The Sabres were always kind of a nice car. I knew a dude that it was his parents' car, but he drove it. And I don't remember what year it was, but it was a twin turbo. So the thing was stinking fast.
Yeah. This one had the high output 307 in it.
Those 307s were decent little motors.
Yeah. One day she wasn't paying attention. We're going down McKnight Road in Pittsburgh, which is a major shopping district. I look over at the speedometer. I'm like, Amy, do you know how fast you're going? She's like, no. You're doing 80. Slow down.
I had a friend in high school that he had a 68 Chevelle, 68 Chevelle with a 307 in it. And it wasn't super quick because it's only 307. But he put the biggest cam he could in it without needing a stall converter, so it sounded great. And being a Chevelle, it looked really nice. And he lowered it just low enough where he smashed the oil pan one night while we were driving.
Yeah. Oh, my stepfather, he loved the 60 Novas with the 250 in them. Those things had torque in them for days because they were using the truck engine.
I have never liked the look of a Nova. I understand, yes, they had the SS's and but I to me they've always been ugly.
I think Sarge has a Nova that he uses as a drag car.
It's fast and it's ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, Novas didn't have that much weight compared to other cars in that era. You get the right engine in them, they could be fast. My stepfather he owned 3 different Novas at 3 different points when I was younger. 1 4-door and 2 coupes. At some point, he broke the speedometer in all 3 of them. And he always wanted the 250. He didn't want the 305. He didn't want the 350. He wanted the 250.
It was kind of funny. I saw an interview with Yinko's daughter, the guy that made the Yinko Camaros.
And made Novas too. He did.
The Yinko Stripe. She would ride to the dealership after school on her bicycle, and she's the one that applied the stripes on the Yinkos. And then when he would sell them, he'd take them. I guess there's a road that ran along a cemetery. It was a good straight stretch, so that they could open it up and see the power.
There used to be a trading card set. I don't know if you ever saw them, where it was nothing but different cars that Yanko built.
No, I don't think I've seen them.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Bunch of Novas and Camaros. A couple of custom drag cars too that he had done. Oh, Jacob saying it has 63,000 miles on it now, not when he got it. So he got it in 2020, so it's a 2010, and it had under 63,000 miles when he got it. That's crazy.
pretty good. My Honda that I have now is a 2021. I've got 22,000 miles on it. I don't drive a lot. I went from driving 20,000 miles in a year to now driving 20,000 miles in 4 years. My wife, she works from home now, and when we moved, we bought the car like right after we moved. We're only a mile from her work, so she wasn't driving anything, and then she started working from home. So basically, she drives to the store on the weekend.
Yeah. Our tech out there is out there. Chat. No confirmation if daughters are there too, or Emmett. The fence dad's asking, why is it cats run around like someone hit the nitrous button every time they take a shit? Our cats don't do that, so I don't know. Did somebody lace the kitty litter with something?
When did Artak, his Artak and Daughters, it used to be apostrophe S. I just noticed that he changed it away from the apostrophe. When did he do that?
The fence dad says the little guy they rescued from the storm drain last month is a little spaz. Maybe it's because he was in the storm drain for so long that his little brain
Probably
has
why.
some kind of damage.
Probably why he was in the storm drain.
That's a possibility too. Artek said he got a grammar Nazi. Got him. Okay.
Well, I had never brought it up in the past because I didn't know if there was a reason he did it or if it was just a misspelling. So I'd never brought it up until now.
Jacob says there are a lot of, I'm guessing you meant Garans, or Garans, however you want to pronounce it, were in the auction. At least 200 of them in a 900 lot auction.
They are wicked cool. I got a couple years ago, got to shoot squibs, and that was kind of a checklist thing to finally get to shoot one.
Yeah. I've shot them before. They are cool.
I kind of fell in love with it. He also had a BM-59, the Italian version of the M14. God, I love that thing. Mm-hmm. I really, really want one.
Defense dad said he was dumped. He's only 5 months old. He kept seeing him around, so he trapped him. He said he's a pretty fun cat. The older cat hasn't killed him yet, so he guesses he's home now. Yeah, it sounds that way.
I had a cat, a little orange tabby, that I was outside working on my truck, and I heard a car come down the road. We used to live in the boonies it was just after high school. Heard a car come down, heard the door open and close at the stop sign. Car drove off, and then I started hearing meow, 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 and they had dumped the cat, and it wasn't even old enough to wean, and it was covered in fleas. Washed him up, and raised him. Great cat. Had to send him to live with my mom because I got in trouble. We weren't supposed to have pets in our apartment.
Uh-oh.
So I sent it to my mom, and then he kind of ran off one night.
Oh. Yeah, our cat Sneezer, he was stranded outside in cold and snow, and Amy brought him in. His name's Sneezer because he kept sneezing his head off.
I
He's got,
and I. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say he's got issues, breathing issues, and some his brain was affected somewhat. So it's like maybe the one that you got out of the storm drain affected the same way.
I would put him in a little box in my room at night to sleep, and then I would wake up in the morning and he'd be on my chest trying to suckle on my shirt, at
Uh
the
huh.
folds of my shirt.
Yep, I had that happen before. Now, Sneezer was funny. You'd pet him, and next thing you know, he's reaching up and he's petting you back by rubbing his paws on your face.
Fence Dad said he named his Garfield. I named mine Chance because he got his second chance,
Yeah.
which was really funny because was it? Can't remember whose kid it was, but somebody that I knew. Well, it was like a friend of my sister's kid or something like that. Named their kid Chance. And I would always just think, God damn, that's what I named my cat.
Mhm. Our one female cat is named Grace because she's the only one that survived out of the litter. There, but by the grace of God.
And he basically grew up with my mom's dog, so he acted more like a dog than a cat. He wouldn't jump like a cat. He didn't meow until later on when I moved in with some friends, and then they had a cat. So the catness started rubbing off, and he became more of a normal cat. Except he would stand up on his hind legs
Mm-hmm.
to look around the corner. So you see him stand up, and then he'd lean forward a little bit so he could peek around the corner.
Now, Amy's puppy, she's starting to outgrow the cat traits because she's got nothing around here but cats to play with since she was 2 months old. So she started picking up cat traits. Cats are playing; they'll use their paws and whack at each other. She was doing the cat play thing with them. So I was like, "You're a dog, not a cat." The one time she was laying with one of the cat started purring, and she's trying to make purring noises. It's like, you're a dog, you can't do that. It's funny what baby animals will pick up from other animals. The fence dad said they had a dog named Lucky when he was a kid. Found him tied to the center median on a busy street, and his 7 siblings had all been ran over. He was the only survivor. That's fucked up, dude.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I gotta paraphrase Ebenezer Scrooge. Anybody that does that to an animal deserves to be boiled in pudding and buried with a dog bone through their heart.
Well, it's just there is absolutely no need to do that. You take them to a shelter.
No. Yeah.
It doesn't cost you anything.
No. Woods has not had good luck with a Burmese cat. He says he's a dick, but might be his spirit animal. The fence dad said that dog lived to be 19.
It's a long time for a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'll be right back.
Okay. So we went from gun questions to car chat to now animal chat. Wow. This silence brought to you by, I have no idea what the hell to talk about. Woods, that's about right. He said dogs have masters and cats have staff. Yeah, that's about right. Seems like the chat on the show window there, right next to the channel logo, is actually showing more of the chat this week than it has in the past. So maybe they got that fixed. They said they've made some changes. I haven't gone through all of them to find out what they are yet. And I haven't looked at the premium to see what that gives you either. If it's reasonably priced, I might go ahead and get the premium version of this. Well, and for those of you out there watching, don't forget tomorrow night, Mr. Gizzard Gary is moving Foul Territory from Fridays to Monday. So be sure to catch Foul Territory on its new date and time tomorrow night.
Get yourself a case of the Mondays and join Gizzard Gary.
Yeah.
Or I guess he's the cure for the Mondays.
Uh-huh. The Fence Dad says, funny thing is, I'm not really a cat person. I just ended up with 2 of them. I'm not a cat person, and somehow I ended up with a house full of them. Again, for the second time.
I was not either until I found Chance. That opened my heart.
Yeah, well, Amy likes to rescue them when she finds them in bad situations and stuff. And she says, well, I'm going to find them homes and stuff, and yet here they still are.
She did find them a home.
Yeah. I don't even know how many damn cats are in this house right now. But it's large enough, it's not a problem. And Fence Dad said he got the first one after he had put his dog down, and the kid talked him into a cat. He said that dog was 19 also. Jack Russell and Rat Terrier mix. Said he was a great dog.
That's what we have now.
Yeah. Amy, when we lived at her grandmother's house, we couldn't bring it with us when we moved up here because you can only have 2 pets, and they wanted the cats, so the dog had to stay behind. Became my brother-in-law's dog, essentially. It was a Rat Terrier Chihuahua mix, and that was a good dog. He was a good dog.
That's what ours is. He's a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix from Texas.
That's what Amy's puppy is now, Jack Russell and Chihuahua mix.
Yeah, his head and tail are Chihuahua, but his heart and soul are Jack Russell.
She's got that curly tail. I told Amy, I swear she's got lab in her somewhere because she hits you with that tail and it hurts. She's got a Labrador tail on a Chihuahua Jack Russell body.
Yeah, we got after our beagle died, which broke my heart. there's a bunch of shelters that got together to do an adoption thing up at the fairgrounds. So my wife's like, "Do you want to go?" And I didn't think I was ready. So I'm like, "If you want to go, we'll go." I didn't want another dog. And looked around, and she wanted a smaller dog. And I was kind of, whatever, I don't care. You wanted whatever. And ended up getting him, and he's a great dog. I'm really glad we did
Yeah.
get him.
Amy went to one of those with our youngest daughter because our youngest daughter wanted a dog so bad. Amy calls me, "We found a nice little bulldog of some variety, and you're gonna love her. She's a really nice looking dog and whatnot." I was like, "Okay." She gets to the house, she has a fucking pit bull. I'm like, "Yeah, the pit bull pup." I was like, "Yeah, okay, nice dog and everything, but do you know how big and strong that dog's gonna get?" She's like, "No."
I sent you an email.
I'm. You know who's gonna have to take care of that dog? She's like, "No, me." At that point, I was in no mood to take care of a dog. God damn it! I was in middle of school still, finishing up my bachelor's degree, and she comes in here with a pit bull. I was like, ugh. She was a good dog and everything, but ended up giving her to a couple who were breeding them, and the female that they were using to breed died, so we gave her to them, and she's doing good now. When she was a puppy, she was the same size as Amy's dog is now when she's almost full grown. My mother had this really tiny chihuahua. Had to have been the run of the litter, right? I could hold that chihuahua in one hand. She was extremely small. But rowdy. She was extremely rowdy. You could get her growling and showing her teeth so easily.
Did you get that picture I sent you?
No, I haven't looked. God, tell me these things, man.
I just told you I sent you an email.
Did you?
Yeah, and you said, yeah. You
Huh?
acknowledged what I said.
Oh, I don't remember. Okay, let me get back over here. See if share works the same way that it did before. If they changed that too. No, it still works. Okay. Yep. I can enlarge it. There we go. That's the dog you have now, or the one that passed away?
Yeah, that's Jack. His name was Jethro, but my wife can't pronounce the TH.
Oh man,
So
I got to put it on present. Hold on.
Jack.
Yeah, there we go. Now you folks can see it.
That's Jack.
See, our little Chihuahua Jack Russell mix, she's all black. She's got the Chihuahua black fur, but looks very similar to him. Otherwise, looks like he's got the same kind of ears. Does he have one tooth on his left side stick out?
He's got his lower lip, his upper jaw sticks out farther than his lower lip, so there's a small gap, so his tongue is always sticking out just a little bit.
Yeah, ours, she has the left bottom canine wants to stick out of her gum depending on how she closes her mouth. If she it's funny. Sometimes it's sticking out, and other times it's not.
I'm going to send you one more picture. The beagle and the cat.
Okay.
They were best friends. We got the cat to be friends with the beagle because he was a little high strung. So anytime he got left alone, he'd chew something up. So we decided to get him a friend. Went down to the pound, and there was a cat that all the workers were complaining about. So I knew that's the cat we should get. As soon as we brought him home, they were friends, and
Yeah. While waiting for the other picture to get here, Fluffy is out there. Even Fluffy. Okay, let me go back over here. Why do I hear a kitten? I don't want to hear a kitten. There's enough damn cats around here. Oh, there's the beagle and cat that Fossil's talking about. Yeah, that's like her puppy and the long-haired Siamese we have. Those two are inseparable. They're like sisters. And they get into trouble like sisters. They instigate each other.
The cat would knock stuff off the counter, would knock food off the counter, so the dog could eat it.
Yep, that's what they do too, and other things.
Yeah, and I had to put them down in the same week. The dog just wore out. He had he was 10 or 11, but he had developed neurological problems. Couldn't walk in a straight line.
Yeah.
Vet said, "Yeah, there's nothing really we can do." And then the cat turned out the cat had stomach cancer.
Oh.
So had to put them both down the same week.
That stomach cancer is nasty. It doesn't matter if you're a pet or a person. That can screw you up real bad and real quick. Cute little animals.
Way to dox me there.
Oh shit.
That's okay. That's the email I use for the YouTubes. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention that I hadn't stopped sharing first. Now, the fence dad said his dog killed 3 foxes at the whole old house. Drug one of them into the house when he wasn't looking. Yeah, my wife's dog would do that with squirrels and birds.
Yeah, I had to. They had to fence off the bird feeder because our dog Jack kept killing squirrels and birds. There's kind of I basically every time you do it, I just chuck them over the fence. So there's probably a big pile of bones over there, and mice.
My email's acting all funky right now. Trying to find where the fence dad's is at. There we go. Found it. Got 4 different emails to check. Oh, this one's a movie. Okay. I just want to play it, you stupid thing. No, you can't do that. Damn it. Yeah, I love when you get emails and it doesn't let you play the video. You got to download it first. Da-da-da-da-da. Where am I at? Okay, yeah, let's save it to desktop. Player. I didn't say to play it yet, you stupid thing. It doesn't want to stop. God. Keeps wanting to play in a loop. There, I got it to stop finally. It was not stopping. All right, let's see if I can get this to share. So last time I tried sharing a video, it wouldn't let me. I had to send it to Gary. Let's see. Share. Window. Share. Is it sharing? Are you seeing a video?
It's not playing, but I can see it.
Okay, yeah, I haven't hit play yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the kitty he saved.
Oh, that homeless man found a kitty cat.
Yeah, the homeless man found a homeless kitty. Cool. Well, at least let me share the video that time. What was it? Right before the Great American Outdoor Show, I tried sharing a video and it wouldn't let me. That was annoying. Sent the video to Gary and he was able to share it with no problem. On this show, by the way. Well, not this very episode. You get the idea. I'd have one of the panelists show the picture or the video. Wouldn't let me play it. Well, let me play it. It won't let me share it. Just weird. First time I ever had that happen. Got about 13 minutes or, well, 12 minutes left in the show. Anybody got any more gun questions or anything? Let's hear them. Or read them anyway. We're down to 6 people on YouTube right now. Still says 1 on Rumble. But that one person never says anything. Don't know who it is.
They're stalking you.
Huh? Yeah. Me.
They're watching. They're always watching.
Private eyes. They're watching you. They see your brain move. Now I'm going to have that fucking song stuck in my head all night. Thanks. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. There's worse songs that could have been in that same theory, category.
Oh, I found out recently
What?
that Mambo number 5,
Uh-huh.
Lou Bega,
Uh-huh.
he's German.
Uh-huh. You didn't know that?
No, I saw a video of somebody talking about him, and they showed an interview of him speaking German.
Mm-hmm.
And his last name is Lou Bega.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what his first name is.
Oh, come on, Jason. Jason. Jacob, put your thinking cap on, man. I'm sure you can come up with one.
Jacob always has questions.
Uh-huh. The problem is, defense that I have never seen an episode of Baby Shark or heard the theme song, so that doesn't affect me one little bit.
I don't think it's a cartoon. I think it's just a song.
No, there's an actual kids show.
Is there?
Yep.
Oh.
God help me if one of our kids were to have kids and I'd have grandkids, and I probably would have had to have seen an episode of it. That or Bluey.
Bluey is probably one of the best kids shows ever created, honestly. Um, it's
Never.
the portrayal of the dad is the most lifelike dad in kids' cartoons.
Yeah.
I identify with Bluey's dad.
What's funny is the Australians made a public service announcement without realizing they made one of the funniest damn videos ever. That video went viral. I mean, there's even a game based on, that dumb ways to die. That was a public service announcement for I think it was the Melbourne Metro service, their subway system. That just went viral because it's hilarious. I think it had the opposite result of what they were intending because of how funny it was. Nobody pays attention to the warning. They just laugh at the way these idiots are dying in this video. It's a cartoon, so it's like watching an over-the-top Roadrunner Coyote cartoon. If you haven't seen it, look up Dumb Ways to Die on YouTube. I think it's on YouTube. It's freaking hilarious. But yeah,
I've not seen the original, but I've seen a lot of the videos people had used the audio in.
Barbecue making a random comment that I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Don't know what that was in reference to. Okay, Jacob came out with another question. He says, well then, of all of the firearms in your collections, which 3 have you regretted getting? The ones I have now? None.
That Walther PK 380.
You still have it?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I can say I regret that Witness 10 millimeter because I turned it into CZ 75 compact, which I like, which I probably would not have if I hadn't bought that Witness that I didn't like.
I would have said, if you asked me 2 months ago, the Bear Creek Arsenal 224 Valkyrie that I have. But then I found a bunch of ammo for it cheap at Bass Pro of all places. Because that was the ammo cost on that was freaking ridiculous.
Hopefully you bought all of it.
Oh yes, I did. Now I got to find another optic for it. Somehow the one lens got busted.
Oh, is Barbecue saying I'm your gay lover?
I don't know.
I'm not gay. I'm willing to try.
The defense dad said his is a Taurus GX4. Apparently he didn't have any luck with that. Snob loves the one he has.
I shot Gary's GX3. I didn't like it. I don't like any of those small.
Yeah, GX3 just came out. I don't know if Gary's got one of those yet or not.
Oh, whatever he had last year.
G2C maybe?
Yeah, there you go. The G something. I didn't care for it. But I don't care for any of those tiny 9 polymer guns.
My daughter has my G2C. She loves the thing. She commandeered it She's like, Dad, I need something to carry. I'm like, okay, here, use this one temporarily until we can get you your own. And she's like, nope, this is mine now. She loves that gun.
I think barbecues maybe huffing toner.
Yeah, maybe.
Just kind of putting random stuff out there.
I even sent that guy a link, and this is how he acts. I'll tell you what.
He's probably rolling on the floor giggling.
Uh-huh. G-Web said he read something on the side of a 9mm, a box of
I think
9mm.
I'm not gay, but I'm willing to try.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, Defense Dad by this GX4 says the rear sight channel is messed up. Can't keep the sight from falling out. Need to send it in for warranty. Yeah, with them doing the warranty work in Georgia now, their returns and everything on the warranty work is a lot faster. Oh, good God. You saw what I saw. Take it.
But other than those I guess 1.5 guns. I don't really regret any of the other ones.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I haven't really bought any guns that I regretted buying for myself. None of the ones that Amy wanted that I bought, I wasn't too keen on either one of those two guns. That damn little Airweight 380 recoiled worse than a 357 Magnum. And the gutter sights on it sucked. I don't like gutter sights.
Oh, they don't bother me.
Some guns you just have to tolerate them on, though. Like if I had a Remington 1861? 1858, that's what I'm thinking of. It actually hit mass market in 61, but they call it the 58. Go figure. That thing's got gutter sights. Beat Colt to the market on that one. Because at the same time, Colt was still putting a notch in the rear hammer. Or the hammer. It was only one hammer. Which always struck me as a weird place to put a gun sight. Heck, you can get the 1858s now with target sights on them. Looks just like a regular 1858 from back in the day, but it has a target sight. Fully adjustable for windage and elevation.
I know that they are functional, but their target sights are ugly.
I didn't say they were the most beautiful thing in the world. Then you got the Smith & Wesson, Model 3 Smith & Wesson that the Schofield was based on. They got the latch is your sight. And there's one of two ways it can open, depending on whether it's a Schofield or a standard. Because the Schofield was made to where it's not the sight, its latch could be opened with one hand on horseback. That was the other one. You pretty much have to use two hands, the other style, to do it. Unless you got really big thumbs. I would love to get one, but god damn, the replicas of those are expensive as hell. $1,400. Whereas you get a replica Peacemaker or the Remington for about $700. It's a big price increase.
Yeah, I'm cheap. You get over 8, and then I usually stop looking at them.
Well, I think it's nice that was cool about the Schofield in particular. When you broke it open, it kicked all the empty shells out like a shotgun that has the auto ejector on it. Then you just put your you hold the gun with your under your arm while you're reloading it, and that way you didn't have to let go of the reins of your horse, and you could refill it, close it, and you were ready to go. Basically, reloading with one hand. The Schofield's demise was that it wasn't in 45 Colt. It was in 45 Schofield. The 45 Schofield round worked in the Peacemaker. The 45 Colt did not work in the Schofield. And the Army had already bought a bunch of 45 Colt going all the way back to when they were having the open top revolvers. If they'd have chambered the Schofield in 45 Colt, we might not know what the Peacemaker is today, because it would have probably outsold everybody, outsold Colt enormously. It was the superior revolver, just wrong caliber.
For brake tops, I'd like a 455 Webley.
It's kind of. I think Webley stole the patent from Smith & Wesson, or they got the patent from or something when they made theirs. Another thing that those old Smith & Wessons have a lineage to is 44 Magnum. When you look at the Russian version, which was in 44 Russian, 44 Russian begat 44 Special begat 44 Magnum.
Well, that's when it begat pretty good.
Uh-huh. Well, for its time, 44 Russian was one of the most powerful pistol calibers you could get. It was the first successful self-contained cartridge. Not necessarily the first self-contained, or I should say centerfire, excuse me. There were other companies and stuff that were testing it, but the Russian was the first successful one, mainly because it was bought up in droves by the Russian military. And then later put on the public market as well here. It was a stout competitor for 4440 and 45 Colt. If I was going to get a revolver from that time period, it would be the Schofield or the 1858 factory conversion. Remington didn't care about the Smith & Wesson patent on the bore-through chamber, or bore-through cylinder, rather. They just paid them their royalty that they were due for using it, and converted a bunch of the 1858s in factory to take the self-contained cartridges. They were still making them that way for years after, until they came out with the 1875, which essentially was a copy of the Colt. All these westerns, you always see like the James boys and stuff using Colts. Jesse James' favorite revolver was actually the Schofield, and Frank James preferred the Remington 1875. In fact, the revolver that he owned and carried at the time, right about the time that Frank James died, was an 1875 Remington. According to some historians, the fact that Jesse was carrying a Colt at the time he was shot by Bob Ford was an anomaly, because normally he would have a Smith & Wesson on him. Now, Ron 2A Matters out there said the gun he regrets ever buying is a Colt 43. He says it jams all the time. Well, when it jams, you just got to put some peanut butter on it. I would recommend Creamy for putting peanut butter on a firearm, by the way. I don't think you want to put crunchy on a gun. May not work too well.
I have a friend that he's got the 43X, and he's never had a problem with his. That's his carry gun.
Does he use those extended mags for it? Or the shield mags?
No.
No, he just uses the stock.
Yeah.
What is it, like a 10-round magazine in those?
I don't know.
All right. Anyway, we are over by a few minutes, the 2-hour mark. So, gotta start wrapping things up. You got anything you want to plug or anything before we get out of here?
Oh. I don't know. Let me see. Let me scroll up here, see who is here. Go check out Jacob S. He's got videos and stuff. Go check out Jacob S's channel. Go give him a subscription.
Oh.
Subscribe and show him some love.
Yeah. Justin Grimm's out there. Don't know when he snuck in. So, evening, Justin. Yeah, but definitely go check out Jacob. He's got some interesting stuff on his channel.
Yeah, a little bit of got a slice of life kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. And
Let's see if I'll get a link for his channel here in just a second.
Okay. Yeah, one of the moderators, if they do that too, whichever one he gets to it first. Anyway, I personally want to thank everybody who's been going over to Ravencrest Tactical and buying their out the front knives using my affiliate link. I appreciate that very much. If you haven't done so yet, go check it out. They got an out the front knife for in multiple different price categories. If you can't afford a $170 knife, they got ones that are $70, some even cheaper than that. So go over to Ravencrest Tactical. You'll find the link on my affiliates page, which is linked down below. And yeah, help the channel out and get yourself a fairly decent knife. Yeah, I like the one they sent me for review purposes. In case anybody forgets what one that is, it is. Wait for the camera to change. This one. D2 tool steel on that. I said the 170 because this is the $170 knife that they have. You can get it in a multitude of different colors. I got the standard black because I like the look of it in black. But they have it in all kinds of different Cerakote colors you can get on the handle. And if you want to get a full custom, you can get to where your clips are one color, your glass breakers one color, your screws will be another color altogether. You can have a different color on the blade. You can have the scales where one side's one color, the other side's another color. All kinds of, and the switch can be a different color. There's all kinds of different options you can do with these over there on their website. So go check them out. You see something you like, remember to use my coupon code as well that you'll find on the affiliates page. I think it's 15 or 20% off. I forget offhand, but it's a decent discount that they give you. So
it may not fix all the problems in your life, but it may give you a little bit of happiness for a little while.
Yeah, it certainly gives me a little bit of happiness because I get a 25% commission on everything that people buy using that affiliates code. So yeah, that comes in handy, paying for different costs that I have rising from the channel and stuff. So I just wanted to thank everybody who has gone over there and bought something, because it doesn't tell me who you are. Like Blackout Coffee, it'll tell me who bought. Ravencrest Tactical, they protect the buyer's identity. They don't tell me who bought what. So I don't know which one of you guys out there has bought knives from them, but thank you for doing so. And I guess that's it for this week, folks. We will catch you next week and tomorrow night on Gizzard Gary. Remember, he's changing to Monday nights instead of Friday. No, it doesn't give you jock inch barbecue.
You probably shouldn't scratch your jock itch with it either.
Yeah, no, don't be like Snob and try scratching your feet with it either. That won't work. Yeah, barbecue with Aldi jokes tonight. Maybe you're right. Maybe he is huffing the stuff for his printer. The toner. Maybe something else. I don't know. But anyway, have a good night, folks, and see you tomorrow night over on Gizzards. Where did I put that stupid outro? Took me a while to find the intro earlier. That's the way they moved everything around.
Night, y'all.
Here's one courtesy of Mr. DM Foss. I haven't played for a little while.
Now listen up, babies. I'm here to ride the train down the funky town. The Unloaded Media Channel is doing a giveaway once he hits 500 subscribers. For more information and details, check the description down below. And you too can be funky like a monkey.
What a whee!